Football is a game of heart-pounding excitement, unforgettable triumphs, and legendary feats of athleticism. But it's also a game where danger lurks on every play, where one wrong move can mean the difference between glory and disaster. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the scariest moments in NFL history, moments that stopped games, left stadiums silent, and reminded us all just how fragile life can be on the football field. 1. Tua Tagovailoa's concerning concussions. In 2022, young Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa became the center of a controversy that shook the NFL's approach to concussions. It all started during an early season game against the Buffalo Bills, where Tua appeared to hit his head hard on the turf. He struggled to get up, stumbling as he walked off the field. Despite these clear signs, Tua was allowed back in the game. Just 4 days later, in a Thursday night football matchup, he suffered another brutal head impact. This time, his fingers froze in a terrifying fencing response, a reflexive position often seen with severe brain trauma. The image of Tagovailoa lying on the ground with his fingers rigidly contorted was no doubt chilling. It immediately raised questions about the NFL's concussion protocols and whether the league truly prioritizes player safety. Then, in 2024, Tua took off on a run, gaining a first down against the Buffalo Bills. But in a cruel twist of fate, Tua ran headfirst into another player on this list, Bills safety Damar Hamlin. Once again, Tua exhibited a terrifying fencing response. It was yet another sad scene and landed Tua on injured reserve. There were calls for his retirement, but he stood steadfast in his stance that football was what he loved to do and that he would not retire. These incidents put the league's concussion protocols under a microscope, sparking a wave of changes to prevent players from being placed back on the field too soon. Tua's recovery would take weeks, and the haunting image of his injuries left fans and players fearing the long-term impact on his health. 2. Joe Theismann's career-ending injury. Joe Theismann was a Super Bowl-winning quarterback with a bright future. But on November 18, 1985, that future was shattered. During a Monday Night Football game, Theismann's team, the Washington Redskins, faced off against the New York Giants. Midway through the game, he was tackled by linebacker Lawrence Taylor. What happened next was so graphic, so horrifying, that it remains one of the most disturbing injuries in NFL history. As Taylor brought him down, Theismann's right leg snapped. With a compound fracture, Theismann's leg was broken in multiple places, visible even from a distance. The injury ended his career that night. Years later, Taylor would speak about how the incident haunted him. For fans, players, and the NFL community, this was a stark reminder of just how dangerous the game could be. 3. Damar Hamlin's cardiac arrest. In January 2023, a routine play turned into one of the scariest moments in modern NFL history. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collided with a Cincinnati Bengals player. It looked like any other tackle until Hamlin got up, only to collapse to the ground seconds later. Hamlin had suffered a cardiac arrest on the field, with his heart stopping as players, coaches, and fans watched in horror. Medical teams rushed in, performing CPR for several agonizing minutes. After about 10 minutes, Hamlin was rushed to a nearby hospital, where he would eventually recover. His survival and recovery were nothing short of miraculous, but the incident was a grim reminder of how unpredictable and deadly sports can be. Hamlin became a symbol of perseverance, eventually returning to the field for the Bills and sadly, becoming involved with another aforementioned frightening moment on this list. 4. Darryl Stingley's life-altering hit. Darryl Stingley was a rising star for the New England Patriots in the 1970s. But in 1978, a hit would change his life forever. During a preseason game, Stingley went up for a pass. Oakland Raiders safety Jack Tatum delivered a hit so brutal that Stingley was left motionless on the field. The blow fractured Stingley's vertebrae, leaving him paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of his life. He would never play another game and lived with the consequences of this hit until his death in 2007. Stingley's injury sparked discussions about the dangers of violent hits and eventually helped lead to changes in the NFL's rules to protect players. 5. Kevin Everett's spinal injury. In 2007, Buffalo Bills tight end Kevin Everett was covering a kickoff when he attempted a routine tackle. However, Everett's head struck his opponent at the wrong angle, causing a spinal cord injury that left him temporarily paralyzed. Doctors initially believed Everett would never walk again. But after emergency surgery and months of physical therapy, Everett defied the odds, eventually regaining some mobility. His resilience is a testament to the human spirit, but the play remains a chilling reminder of how quickly lives can change in this brutal sport. 6. Ryan Shazier's spinal injury. On December 4, 2017, Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier was playing against the Cincinnati Bengals when he suffered a life-changing injury. Shazier went in for a routine tackle, but the impact compressed his spine. He immediately grabbed his back and lay motionless on the field. Doctors feared Shazier might be paralyzed, and his recovery was uncertain. But incredibly, after multiple surgeries and months of intense therapy, Shazier worked tirelessly to walk again. His football career was over, but his determination to regain mobility inspired millions. Shazier's story is a powerful reminder that even the strongest athletes can face terrifying, life-changing moments in the blink of an eye. 7. Reggie Brown's near-death experience. In 1997, Detroit Lions linebacker Reggie Brown faced a moment that would nearly cost him his life. During a tackle against the New York Jets, Brown's neck was compressed, causing a spinal cord injury that left him unable to move. As Brown lay motionless, paramedics rushed to the field. They performed an emergency tracheotomy right there, keeping his airway open and saving his life. Brown survived, but his football career was over. This incident left a lasting impact, inspiring new safety measures and medical protocols for on-field emergencies. 8. Chuck Hughes' tragic death on the field. On October 24, 1971, Detroit Lions receiver Chuck Hughes collapsed during a game against the Chicago Bears. With only a minute left, Hughes was jogging back to the huddle when he suddenly clutched his chest and fell to the ground. Paramedics rushed in, but Hughes could not be revived. He had suffered a fatal heart attack, becoming the only NFL player to die during a game. Chuck Hughes' passing was a shock to the NFL community and a heartbreaking reminder of how unpredictable life and the game of football can be. 9. Dennis Byrd's paralyzing collision. Dennis Byrd was a defensive lineman for the New York Jets when a tragic accident on the field nearly ended his life. On November 29, 1992, Byrd collided with a teammate while attempting to sack the opposing quarterback. The impact left him with a fractured neck and partial paralysis. Doctors initially believed Byrd would be paralyzed for life, but he made an incredible recovery, eventually walking again and even inspiring others as a motivational speaker. Byrd's resilience was inspiring, but the terrifying incident served as another reminder of just how dangerous the game can be. Football is a game of highs and lows, of triumphs and tragedies. It's easy to get lost in the thrill of touchdowns, comebacks, and championships. But these incidents remind us that, for the men who step onto that field, every game, every play, carries a risk. The scariest moments in NFL history are etched into the memories of fans and players alike. They are moments that changed lives, shaped careers, and forced the NFL to take steps toward making the game safer. If you like what you've seen, please comment, like, and subscribe for more of the best and worst of sports right here.